Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hello and welcome back to Coral Reef Keepers. And today's video is a special video. It is the 1 year anniversary of my reef tank. And man, I tell you what, it has come a long way, both good ways, bad ways. And just kind of want to show you guys what the tank looks like today, because it's been a while since I've uploaded a video. And kind of talk about some of the things that the challenges that I've gone through and the successes that I've had. So looking at it right now, here's the main display. As you can see, it looks a lot different from the last time I did a video of it. For comparison, let's take a look here. I'll do a short clip of the tank in mid-June, I think this was taken. So as you can see from that video, the tank was completely covered in hair algae. I was battling it like crazy, and as you can see, most of that is gone now, and I'm left with a coralline algae display instead. Coming over to the 40 grader that's attached to it. Lots have changed. The frog spawn coral right here and the front are totally different from the last time I had them on camera. As you can tell, they're actually looking pretty terrible, but actually this is the best they've looked in probably about a month and a half, maybe even 2 months. I'm not sure exactly what happened with this tank, but when I was working on fighting the hair algae problem, something I put in the tank just almost crashed everything. Actually, it was pretty much a mini crash. I lost, I want to say 4 or 5 pieces of coral, maybe even more. I swear I almost lost these frog spawns. As you can see, this is the best they've looked in a while, as the polyps are starting to come back out, but they were almost pretty much dead. I did lose my hammer coral that was over here. That's gone. I lost a couple other pieces that were in here. Those are all gone. I think it was a bird's nest that was in here. Lots of other stuff. Well, that stuff that I lost, as you can see, the polyps are doing crazy good. So I don't know what happened to the tank. Going over to the main display, taking a look at like this green Monty here. This thing was actually almost like a purple color, almost dead. Thought it was gonna die. And this is the best it's looked in months. The chalice coral that I had up here in the center display is gone. Surprisingly, I lost that during the mini crash. Speaking of the chalice, here is the skeleton of what's left. I just kind of kept it hung on to it for a little bit just to kind of look at it. I mean, this thing was crazy huge and totally died. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what caused the crash of the tank. I was battling hair algae at the time, and I did a couple of things all at the same time, which is a bad idea because you can't narrow it down. One of the things that I did was I used this. Now, I'm not saying that this is a bad product or anything, but I think I way overdosed this. Even though I'm pretty sure I followed the instructions to what they tell you to do on it, I think that this caused my crash. And it was either that or the fact that I switched to Fritz salt for like 2 water changes, and that caused it, but I'm not sure. So at the same time, I used the phosphate E. I ended up getting a box of Fritz salt from a local reef store because I wanted to give it a try. Did 2 water changes with that. I think maybe a total of 80 gallons. So I do about 40 gallons a week. So probably about 80 gallons worth of water change, and then I use the phosphate E. And during that period is when everything started to go downhill. No clue what happened. So I'm kind of blaming it on the fact that I probably just stripped the tank of phosphates, which is what got rid of my hair algae. But it also ended up killing a lot of corals in the long run. So After the crash, I switched salts again. I actually ended up switching to Tropic Marin Pro. It's a little expensive, but I kind of say that that's helped this tank in a lot in the long run. Kind of say that most of this coralline growth has come since I switched to that salt. So I don't know if that's it in particular or not, but I mean, I tell you what, I was doing 2 or 3 water changes a week, running carbon, changing my filter stocks twice daily, just really trying to pull out whatever was in this tank. Everything's starting to bounce back. The coralline started taking over, which was a good sign. Once the coralline started coming over, then all my corals started coming back from the dead. So a lot of pieces that I thought I lost actually ended up coming back. I think all in all, I want to say I lost like 5 pieces throughout the entire process. And I almost thought I lost all those frog spawns, but they are slowly but surely bouncing back. But what really surprised me is losing some of those really hardy corals. You know, losing that Hollywood stunner chalice. I mean, that thing's been through war and it's still survived. This Monty here has just been through all kinds of stuff and still survived. But and I've got my one little acro right there. It's kind of hard to see, but kind of died off a little bit and is coming back. I don't know if it's going to survive or not. I'm just kind of leaving it and letting it do its thing. And then you got this guy here. I'm not really sure what it's doing. It looks like it's dying, but looks like it's coming back. I'm not sure. Well, that is where the tank stands. Sorry about the weird lens flare I'm getting here from this filter. I don't know what it is about this phone, but I cannot film with a filter for shit without getting some weird lens flares off of it. So there we stand. A year later, tank is growing, tank is getting better. One thing that never skipped a beat since tank crashing was my fish. They're all fine and fat and healthy, but corals have been a pain in the ass to keep. So there you have it, 1 year anniversary of my reef tank. Thanks for stopping by, thanks for watching, and until then, we'll see you on the next video.